Hello, hello, my gorgeous Geminis. How are you, my beautiful Gemmies? So, my gorgeous ones, this is going to be your forecast for November 2017. But first, of course, I want to talk about some astrology and what's going to be going on in the month of November. So, we have this beautiful full moon in Taurus coming on November 4th or 5th, depending on where you are in the world. And then we have the new moon that's going to be in Scorpio. So, and that one's on the 19th or 20th, whichever, it just kind of depends on where you're at, right? So the new moon in Scorpio and then this full moon first in Taurus. And we have some really cool aspects going on for Geminis or for all signs. And I'm going to go over the houses it's going to activate. So the full moon in Taurus is going to be in your 12th house. And the sun, so the moon is going to be in your 12th house on that the 4th or 5th, and then the sun is going to be in your 6th house, and then Neptune is going to be in your 10th house. And so there's a sextile and a trine going on, which means this is beautiful energy. And so whatever house Taurus is in for that full moon, it's going to activate that house. So it's going to activate the 12th house for you, right? But you want to use, since the 12th house and the 6th house and the 10th house are going to be working in a trine together, you want to use that energy to be able to manifest, not just to manifest, but to let go of things. Because the full moon is about completions, it's about gains, it's about, you can think of the full moon as kind of like the nine in the tarot deck, right? So it's about that work that you've been doing and what you need to let go of so that those blessings can come in. Because, again, if you've never seen me, I explain it like this. You only, from your whole self, from your higher self, you can take unlimited amounts of energy through you, right? You're part of the whole, you're part of the one. But here on this earth and this resonance, there's only so much energy we can hold in our field, right? Or run through us in our field. And so that's the world that we create around us, the physical stuff. And so sometimes when we're not letting go or making action or letting go of the old stuff, we're kind of holding on to it, whether we think about it or obsess about it or haven't made a decision about it or whatever. Or maybe it's past trauma, which it's not a right or wrong. You will let go when you're ready. It's so it could be past trauma that you sort of put back there and just kept on living because you had to, do what you had to do. But because you're holding that, these newer blessings can't come in, right? So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So welcome, welcome everyone. If you have never seen me before, thank you so much for watching my videos. Thank you for coming to my channel. This channel has just grown tremendously, and I want to say it's 3 months now. So I want to thank everybody for liking and sharing and subscribing and all the comments. I really, really appreciate your love and support. I did want to mention that I have the I called it a Halloween special. It was my very first special, but it was for my YouTubers and my social media to thank them for, for being my fans and followers. So I really, really appreciate it. All the love I'm being sent, I totally appreciate it. So I'm doing 30-minute tarot readings for $60 and hour tarot readings for $120, which is a pretty pretty good discount. So you can go to yourindigopath2.com. I'll have the description in the link below. Also, if you're ever wanting to purchase any, if you're interested in these decks or the salt baths that I use and any of that stuff, I have my own page on Amazon. So that link is down below as well. So, what was I going to say first? Because I have so much to say. So this is a little different spread that I've done. I like to change up the spreads. That's that Gemini in me. And so I'm a Gemmy too. So in your, with the full moon, and also, let me say this. I did one already for the new moon. I'll do it again. But I released a video for the new moon. Like if you're into I hate to just say rituals because it's not just a ritual, because different people do it different ways. But these are steps that you can take. This is sort of meditation stuff that you can do, or this is sort of a ritual that maybe you can do. And you don't, I mean, you can call it that or not. It's kind of up to you. But it was these steps that I helped you to set your intention, and I did a video for the new moon. I'm going to do one for the full moon and help you if you want to do something to sort of set your intention and move forward, right? So, the full moons again are about completions and gains. So, and it's a positive thing. Okay, so and because it's in Taurus, Taurus loves the tactile. Taurus is earthy. Taurus is um, loves luxury around them and beautiful things around them and possessions. And I'm not saying that's all they like. I'm just saying that they feel better and more comfortable doing routine stuff and doing and having those comfortable, safe things around them, right? Even situations and loved ones. They just love the routine. So, with the full moon being in Taurus, you're going to be manifesting, or those things that you've already worked on are going to be manifesting in a very tactile, physical way because that's Taurus, right? And so, what I'm really excited about is that it's going to be in your 12th house, right? And so, with each house and each planet, there's lower and higher octaves. That's what they call it in astrology. You know, we call it the unevolved and evolved, you know, in different metaphysics, right? So you could come from the lesser evolved or the lower octaves, or you can come from the higher octaves. It kind of depends on your perception, right? It depends on your aspect and your identity and how you see and perceive things, right? Or take them in. So the 12th house, what's that about? The 12th house is about, it's called the self sabotage house. I like to call it something different, but um, it's about your shadow side. It's about incorporating your wholeness. It's about dealing in different realms. You know, Pisces is in there, so or that 12th house is ruled by Pisces. So it's about the connection between this world and other worlds, this world and the other side. And so the 12th house is the thing about the 12th house is you can become obsessed with it if like your north node is in there, or you've got a lot of stellium in there, which is like more than three planets in there. So you're like wanting to figure it out, wanting to figure out, you know, this world and other worlds and who am I and what is this? And that's kind of what the 12th house is about. But the 12th house is not meant to be figured out. It's meant to have gifts come through there. Your past lives come through there. Some of your lessons come through there, right? And so, trust me, Gems, you've done enough work. It's not time to like have lessons. I mean, not hard lessons. You guys have had a traumatic childhood, traumatic adulthood. Like some of you had traumatic adulthoods. There's been a lot of loss in your life. I understand this. Spirit understands this. So with this 12th house, and Taurus being in there for the full moon, this is about completions. This is about where you're at. You're like all the hard work has been done. It's like time to complete this. And with the sun being in your 6th house, you're trying to incorporate because the sun and the moon are opposition, and then Neptune is there, so you have that trine working, and so the sun and the moon and Neptune, you can use this energy on that full moon. Um, what I'm seeing for you guys is when I look at these three things, the thing that I'm getting is that, and I love you, love you, love you, you know this, but sometimes we won't take an action because we want it to be perfect in our head first. And then we take the action, and we're like, well, if we do it that way, then maybe it's not going to fail, or maybe I don't know enough about it, or maybe, right? And so then you don't take an action, and that's what I'm seeing with this 12th house, which is going to be lit up, and the 6th house, which is about daily routine, about incorporating and organizing your daily routine. It's about your work and your health and service to others. It's like the skills that you have in the mentoring. Um, so it's basically called the house of routine, right? And so the 6th house is about, uh, working in the 6th house is about discovering what you didn't discover in the first house, right? So, or finishing that up because you're getting ready to go into the seventh house, which is about relationships, right? So, or mirroring of all situations and things and people. So, when I'm seeing the 12th house being lit up and working in a trine with the 6th house and the 10th house is about your fame, your persona, the way that you get out here in the world, and the way that people see you, and the your purpose, your life purpose, right? One of your purposes, because we have many purposes, but one of your purposes. So I'm seeing that you're trying to sort of understand what I really want to do, not what society wants me to do. What I'm seeing this place where there are things that you've really wanted to accomplish. Maybe because this happens a lot with Geminis. You can think of something and you know that it can happen, but people won't believe you, right? So, because for whatever reason. But there's those dreams and those things, because this is where your dreams are too, in your 12th house. Those things and those dreams and those that passion that hasn't left you, you want to bring that out to the world, your 10th house, right? But you're trying to incorporate that into your daily work, health, daily routine, right? So you're trying to find a way to do this. And with the full moon in Taurus, I feel like y'all are going to get some gifts. Like, I feel like you're going, because you've been working on this, you're going to be able to have something come through as you let go, as you worked on your shadow side, as you've come through some things. You're going to be able to receive these tactile gifts that are going to be incorporated in your daily life, right? With Neptune. So Neptune is about it's like the faded stuff. That's Neptune. It's like the divine things that happen, the faded things that happen. They come from past lives or other realms, or spirit oneness. They come from your higher self. But Neptune is protecting you. So Neptune is it's a very protective planet, right? And it has hidden stuff in there, but it supports you. So I feel like with your 12th house being activated and Neptune being there to help, it's sort of bringing your 6th house. So you guys are going to get something where your life is changing. That's what I'm feeling. The thing is there are some things that you haven't taken a step in yet. And that's what you need to do, because you have to tell the universe, your higher self, because the sun, remember, is our conscious, it's our free will. So you have to tell the universe, or the way the universal laws work, or your oneness or your higher self, is this is what I want to do. Consciously, I'm making this decision to do this. So I'm going to put some effort into this, and I'm going to incorporate this into my daily life, because I want this to be part of me. I want to, in my 10th house where Neptune is, I want to show myself to the world in this way. So does that make sense to you? So it's really important for you guys to, like, with this full moon in Taurus, to let go of some things, come through them so that your blessings can come. Because I feel like these things that you really want to do, but you're too scared to do, because what if you fail? Or maybe I don't have enough research, or maybe I don't know enough about it, or it's not perfect in my head, and how am I supposed to do that, right? Because Geminis are like that. You want to know how you're supposed to do every step, and then you'll do it, right? But creating is something different. Creating is about seeing where that point that you want to be at, and then creating it to get to there, not knowing every step. Maybe knowing one or two steps, and then you take a turn here, and it's a good turn because it's expanded into something that you didn't even realize it was going to be, right? So when I put this full moon in Taurus, when I put the full moon steps to take, I would watch that so that you can do that stuff, okay? So let's get started on your spread. So what I've done here is, this is going to be your past, this is your emotional state, and this is the advice to take. This is your emotional state, this is the advice to take. This is your past, this is your present, and this is your future. And then down here is your romance, and this is your finance. So this is your romance advice, and this is your financial advice. Okay, so in your past, emotionally, you have the Eight of Swords. Now we know the Eight of Swords is about feeling like I'm not enough, or feeling like I just can't make a decision about something because, for whatever reason, like or I don't want to make the decision because then I would have to let go of that person, or I don't really want to do this because it's really scary, or just feeling sort of overwhelmed, like I can't do this yet, right? And that's in your past. That's what you've come through. Because the advice was the Six of Wands. It's like you don't realize how many people, or how many, or that people are even watching you and really praise you and really love you for who you are. And I feel like you're coming to that understanding that you are valuable in this world, that you are valuable to people, because sometimes you isolate yourself and then you think, nobody would miss me, or, everybody would be okay, because you have an understanding of, the connection in the other realms. And so you're like, everything will be fine. But you don't realize that you are important here, or you're coming to realize that, because I see that with these things that have come through, maybe new jobs you got, maybe a new position you got, maybe this creation, this project that you were doing, you sort of, all of a sudden it started happening and people started seeing you and noticing you and things were happening, right? So they're saying stay in that. So I'm hearing, don't say no to an opportunity, even if you don't know where that opportunity is going. Like, even if you think that it's not the opportunity that you want, don't say no. Just say yes. You can always say no later. You can change your mind. It's okay. But take the opportunity, because you don't know where it's going to go. That's what they're saying. Stay in this, where you understand that you are loved, that you are valued, that you do bring a space in this world in this time. That makes sense? So that's their advice from the past, and it looks like you're coming through that. You just have to, I know because I'm a Gemini, you can be a perfectionist where you're like, if it's not perfect, I'm not going to do it. And they're saying that's what's standing in your way. What's standing in your way is, it's great to be a perfectionist, but you can go too much that way, right? And so just take the action. Just take the action. We understand it's scary, and we understand why you're scared. You've come through a lot. You've come through a lot of trauma. So you have every right to be scared. But just take the action. Take the action and see where it goes, because you have a lot of blessings coming, okay? So in your present, emotionally, so this is from spirit. This is like the other realm. This is your emotional state, or this is what's going on in your present. You have the Page of Cups. So either you're about to get news in November, or you've already gotten news, because the timeline can be off depending on, you know, um, depending on whether it's ascending or sun, or your timeline. Excuse me. So it looks like you had news that either you're about to get news or you've had news. This is in your now. So now could be now to 2 weeks. So this is news that's going to connect you on an emotional state. But I'm seeing a lot of emotion. I'm seeing like, I'm feeling like I'm very happy about it. And for some of you, I'm feeling like I'm very scared about it. And for some of you, I'm feeling like I'm really not liking this. So it's just it's news that's going to be brought on an emotional level. Okay. So it looks like what I'm feeling is, God, I'm feeling like you're scared. Like, to the world, you don't portray that you're scared, but I'm feeling like you're excited because some of the things that you've worked on have actually come through, and then you're scared because what if it stops? What if I do something wrong? What if I get off of this train, right? What if I get off of this momentum and it stops, and then what do I do, right? That's kind of what I'm feeling for you guys. And what they're saying is, this is this is the advice that they're giving you for your present state, is the Star card. So the Star card to me means reconciliation, but it also means, and this is what I'm seeing for you guys, it also means, you see these blessings, you see this, they're trying to give these to you, and this is going to help get you the blessings that you have been working so hard for. Some of you 2 and 3 years you've been working on this. Some of you a year, but some of you 2 and 3 years you've been really, really working on this. And so I feel like the reconciliation is you coming back to that state of being happy. Not just happy where you smile at everybody and you're like, everybody thinks you're okay because, you could be going through something, nobody will know it, right? So I feel like it's that happy state that you're going to be reconciling with. I feel like you're going to smile again. I feel like that you remember that Gemini part of you when you were maybe when you were younger where you were just excited and adventurous and it didn't matter and you would just do it, like that state again, that excitement, that ready to have adventure kind of thing, where you're not jaded and you're not like so worn out because you've had so much trauma in your life, but back to that state. That's what I feel like the reconciliation is about for you. And I feel like that's already started like in October. I feel like this is going to continue in November. Now, obviously, with reconciliation, this has to do with some people coming back into your life. But if you've cleared your field and you've done the work, Gemini, and you have, then understand that those people are now resonating with you, right? And even if they're not, they will come in and you will know, and you'll let them go. You'll know, okay, that just reminded me of what I didn't want, right? So I'm really happy for you guys in November. You've got a lot of things coming. You just have to, if you want to stay on that momentum that you're talking about not having, or like maybe I get off of that, or what if it stops, then take the action. Continue to take the action. Continue to understand your worth here. Continue to understand that you can do whatever it is that you want, right? You can have those dreams come true. There's a reason those dreams are in your head. There's a reason that you're being pulled to do that. And you've got loving support from the universe, from God, from source, from oneness, from your higher self, right? So it looks like with all the work that you've been doing in the future, so I'm going to say this is probably by the end of November, maybe into December, but it could even be before then, right? So in the future, you have the Eight of Cups, and this is your emotional state. This is what's going to be going on. I feel like you're finally walking away. I feel like you're finally, by this time, I feel like not just realizing, oh, I'm really not there anymore. I am a better, different, more expanded person, right? I really have taken responsibility for my life. I really have done some action. I really am not in those relationships and those situations that I was before. That's what I'm feeling like you're going to be getting to. But also, while you're there, you're going to be able to look back and see, I didn't realize that was still part of me. And now I can look at it and understand why that came in and where I grew from that. And now I can let that go through. Now I can let it go, right? Because what that's going to get you is the temperance, because you're often running to this next level, this next phase in your life, this next, oh, I'm seeing like this. They're showing me where you're thinking you're thinking you have to struggle to get to this phase that you've seen. And then when you're there, all of a sudden your world opens up and you're like, wow, I can have this and I can have this and I can have this. And it's almost like you didn't dream enough, right? So you're going to be working on that where you're a little bit, no, I would say a lot more. I feel like when this happens, you're going to be in this state where you're seeing all the possibilities again. Like, wow, I should have been dreaming bigger, or I should have been doing that, or now I can do that, right? That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that for you. And I'm really excited for you guys because it's time. It's time for your blessings to come down. Look at these rainbows. This is where you were, but you're no longer there, right? And even if a part of you is there, use this full moon to let go, right? And when I tell you the steps to do, I mean, do those things so that they can help you set your intention and get your mindset better, right? Because we are what we think, right? So you guys are so beautiful. You can just be positive for everyone else. But then when it comes to you, you're not positive. And so I feel like this is what this last 3 years, 2 years, 1 year is understanding that you deserve that as well. It's not just for you to give to everybody else, it's for you to give to yourself as well, right? So let's move into your romance advice. I don't say love because love to me is that vibration that moves through all. I'm sorry, love to me is that energy that moves through all vibrations. So I'll call this the romance card. So your advice in the romance card for November is the Ace of Coins. So you have new beginnings coming. And this is a beautiful beginning. This to me, the Ace of Coins or the Ace of Pentacles is like the gateway. It's like the gate. It's like the gate is open, but are you going to go through it, right? And however much energy you put into this is however much you'll get back. So are you ready to start something new that's very valid, that's slow moving, that's not like somebody that comes in and says a whole bunch of, because you're a Gemini, they're going to come in and they're going to say a whole bunch of things and you're going to believe them and then it's not going to happen, right? That's not what this is. This is someone who is very valid, who has come through a lot too, who has who's ready like you are. But that's for singles. For couples, if you've been with somebody for a while, it looks like a new beginning. It looks like a new understanding. It looks like, and this is going to be hard for you, Gemini, you coupled ones, because if that person and your relationship has been one way, and then you help them see, or you and him, or you and her see that you come to an understanding, you're like, no, it's really time. This is who I love, right? And then that person all of a sudden changes their habit of they're all in. You're going to be like, are you sure? Because I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'm waiting for the rug to be pulled out from under me, right? And remember, this is the gate that's open. However much energy you put into it is however much you're going to get out. So if he's all in or she's all in and you're kind of off to the side because through no fault of your own, right? I mean, they've shown you one way and now they're all of a sudden changed their way. But it can happen. It absolutely can happen. So if you're not engaged, but you say that you are, they're going to know it. And the energy is that that relationship is going to turn into something else. So you have a new beginning, a new start, a new understanding, a new level. Depends on what you're going to do with that, Gemini. And that is their advice. You have these new beginnings coming through. What are you going to do? Are you going to put the energy in it? Or are you going to try to control it and then try to perfect it and not do anything? Okay? So, I'm sending you lots of love and light with this. This is your financial advice for the month of November. You have the Three of Wands. So, I think this has to do with this card. Well, it has to do with all these. So, the Three of Wands is telling me that you know how you want those things. And we're talking about finances, money, possessions, financial stuff. You want those things and you start to do them, but it's not perfected. And what if you fail and I'm too scared? And so I'm just going to kind of put it over there, but I'm going to work on it a little bit, but I'm just going to kind of put it over there. That's what the Three of Wands is. So the Three of Wands is about, I see the ship coming. I see my stuff can be here, but I'm just going to sort of wait for it to come, right? Until I feel safe enough to take an action, until I feel safe enough to really delve into this. And they're saying with the Three of Wands, when you see the ship coming in, lean into it. Lean into it. Like take the action, take the opportunity, say yes to things. It might be a little scary. Now, I'm not telling you to like go invest $100,000 if you only have $100,000. Like, don't do that, but at least put some energy into it. They're saying lean into it and be okay with it and understand that those things are real and they are coming to you. So financially, even if it looks like because I see where like some of you start getting money and having gains, and then you're like, oh, I'm scared. What if it stops? Or what if it like, what if I do something wrong? What if I make the wrong decision? That's what they don't want you to do, because that energy flow is gonna stop, or it's gonna start like skipping, right? So they're saying when those things come in, be happy and adventurous and excited, and take the opportunity and take the action, and put some in savings, and spend some, and do whatever it is that you're wanting to do, and invest some, and like that keeps the energy flow. So they're saying with the 3 of Wands in the month of November, we have the energy flowing to you, but you have to make an effort to flow to it. Does that make sense? So I'm going to pull this other card so this is going to be like your main focus for the month of November. Again, we have the full moon in Taurus and then the new moon in Scorpio. And I'll do the new moon in Scorpio later, but I'm going to do the other two. So here is your uh, 10 of Wands. Wow. So this is all about, you see how he is taking the action. I mean, see how he is like with a heavy heart. He's even crawling with all of these experiences, with all of these things that he has to do. But he's crawling to get to the place that he wants to. And so to me, the 10 of Wands is about, with a heavy heart, moving towards or away from something or someone or some situation. And this is because it's your main focus, because it's the thing that you'll be dealing with in the month of November. It's all about you taking the action, even if it's with a heavy heart. You're going to succeed because the 10 of Wands succeeds. It's just, it feels like it's overwhelming, and it feels like it's very, very hard. But you're going to succeed. Okay? All right, my gorgeous ones. I love you, love you, love you. Thank you so very much again for liking, for sharing, for subscribing. Don't forget that we have till October 31st. If you're going to get a reading with me, now would be the time to do it. So, let me see, what else do I have to say? I think that's it. Love you. Bye.